Hello everybody, welcome to my channel and today's video, which is a full face first impressions and creating a look using all the Essence products that I bought recently. I have done a whole video on that, showing you everything that I got in sort of two separate orders, both from Feel Unique. This is a really affordable brand, and it's also available at Wilko's or Wilkinson's, whichever, depending on how old you are, will depend on what you call it. So yeah, so we're going to get into it. All I've literally done is just spray my face mist. I always do that before I start applying my makeup, just to give my skin that extra layer of hydration. So let's get the headband on and let's get into it. Okay, so the first item I would usually use is a primer. And then I would use a redness correcting product for my areas of rosacea. However, we have a two-in-one here. This is the Essence Coloured Skin Corrector Primer, and this is obviously the green one because I've got that redness of the rosacea. So let's give this a go. What I have started doing with my primer and with this sort of correcting product is I use a little beauty blender to apply it with. It's a great way then to just target the areas that I'm wanting to, like this. So I'm going to pop this all over and then we'll be back to try out the foundation. Okay, so what do we think to that? It has dulled down some of the redness a wee bit, not as much as my other colour correcting product that I had, but never mind, it's gone on quite nicely. It's absorbed into the skin, it's not leaving any stickiness or tackiness or anything, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so let's see how we get on underneath the foundation. The one I bought is the Stay All Day 16-hour foundation, liquid foundation in the shade 05. Let's just get into it. Give it a bit of a shake because you never know. And we'll do a couple of pumps, see where we go. Back in a minute. Okay, here we are. Foundation is on. Excuse me. What do I think to it? Well, it's gone on really well. I would say coverage-wise, you're looking at more of a medium coverage. I have gone back over and given it an extra bit of a layerage over certain areas, particularly on the forehead. Now then, on my forehead, it seems to be settling in my frown lines. I'm not going to say laughter lines, but frown lines, which is a bit annoying. However, here, just on the bridge of my nose, I do tend to have quite a dry patch, and it's not settling in there as much as some other foundations that I've tried, so that is really good. Colour match, yeah, it's a little pale at the moment. However, I've been out in the garden for 4 or 5 days, so you can probably see I've picked up quite a decent tan at the moment. I always prefer to have a lighter foundation anyway, because for me personally, I find it easier. You can always darken up with a little bit of bronzer all over or whatever. It's easier to do that rather than getting a shade that's too dark and then trying to lighten it, you know? But anyway, that has gone on really, really nicely. I used 2 pumps and I do have a small amount, and I mean a small amount, left on the back of my hand. So yeah, 2 pumps for an entire face. Not bad at all. Yeah. Feels okay on the on my face. It doesn't feel tacky or sticky or anything, so that's good. Next, we are going to use the loose powder. So normally I like to put my powder on with like a little powder pad, not a beauty blender. You know, the old like round pads. I like to put it on like that. But I'm going to give it a go with a brush. This is just a blusher brush, but it's only because my big face brushes are dirty and I haven't washed them yet. So let's see how this goes on. Feels very, very light on the skin, I have to say. Doesn't feel heavy or cloggy at all. There we go. Really nice, like that. Excellent. Now I am going to use the contouring palette, and I think I've shown you this before, but this is my favourite brush for contouring. It's by Lorac. There we go. And it's kind of it's a very strange brush. It's fairly thick, a little bit mucky, just ignore that. And it's kind of triangular, it comes out a bit like this, but you can sort of flatten it and you get it's like a small fan brush that's denser and thicker, and I really love it. It's great for getting a line, and then I go right onto the end and I buff out. So we're going to dip into the darker colour a little bit. Ooh. Tap that off and let's give this a go, see what we think. Okay, that's not too bad. The only thing is here, it seems to have took off the foundation a wee bit. So maybe I needed to leave that a little bit longer to let the foundation fully dry before I went in with that. But never mind, that's where we are. Excuse me. And then I'm going to go back to my blusher brush, and using the blush lighter palette that I bought, I'm going to go in right on this edge here, which is the matte blushery bit. There we go, it's quite an orangey colour. Give that a top off. And that's that. It's actually quite a nice subtle colour. Just helps to give a little bit of warmth, and it's blended in really, really nicely. So looks really scary in the pan, but actually on the face is nice and subtle, so that's good, because it means it's nice and easily to build up then as well. Okay, I think that's about the base done. So I'm just going to quickly set my face and then we'll get into the eyeshadow. So I do always set my face after I've got my base layer on. Give that a minute just to dry down. It just helps to solidify that base and stick it in there so it really can last all day. You don't have to use a setting spray, you can just use like a face mist or even just plain water in a little pump action spray bottle will be absolutely fine and still do the same thing. My personal though, I love the Morphe setting sprays. I think they're great, but they're not the cheapest. They're £16. I often try and get them when they're on offer. So there we go. Okay, so eyelid primer. I'm still using my Morphe one at the moment. Do I think this is as good as my NYX one? No. It's alright, it's okay, I've had worse, but my favourite is still my NYX, to be perfectly honest. But whilst I've got it, I'm not going to waste it, it needs use it, so that is what I am going to do. Okay, first things first, I am going to start with a small but fluffy sort of blending brush, and I'm going to go in with this sort of khaki sagey greeny colour here. Let's have a look. It's actually a bit darker than I maybe thought, but let's get it on and see what we think. I'm going to basically use this, I think, sort of as a crease colour. So let's start on tapping onto the brow bone, and let's see. Yes, it does seem to be going on darker than I envisaged, but not a problem. So I'm just tapping down first of all, and then as usual, circular motions just to blend and smoke it out. There we go. It does seem to be going on a little patchy, but that might be because I've gone in over a tacky base. We shall see. I'm going to get a smaller brush and I'm going to go in with this darker but slightly brighter green. Not quite sure. I would say the only thing about the Hello Berlin palette is that there's no shade names underneath, so it's a bit difficult. But let's put this into the crease and see what happens. Into that first brush and do some blending. Let's see what happens here. Okay, I think I've got that to blend in. I have to say, first impressions, they're not going on brilliantly, but I do suspect that is down to the eyeshadow primer. It's very, very patchy. When you lay your colour down, you seem to get quite a harsh line, and then you've got to go in and blend out. And I'm not sure, it just doesn't seem to be going particularly brilliant today, I have to admit. I have got some fallout under here as well, I have just noticed, so that seems to have brushed off fairly easily, so that's good, but there is fallout. Okay, let's dip into the other palette and pick up. Now this one does have names on it, and the one I'm going to go into is this one here, this green shimmer called Succulent. Love the name. Okay, let's try it. I'm putting it on a flat shader brush, and we're going to go all over the lid with this. We're going to see how it goes on first of all dry, and then if I need to I'll go in and spray it. But let's have a look. Now that is going on lovely. That is going on superbly. Yes, really nice. It's got a lovely sheen to it. And like I say, this is going in dry, so this isn't going in wet, and that's giving quite a good effect. So going in wet with that would probably really make it go wow. I'm going to pick up, I'm going to try my pencil brush, and I'm just going to dip back in to that darker green matte that we used and see if I can define the crease a little bit better. Let's have a look. Okay, I think that's a little better. Now just going to pick up a bigger fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into this palest matte here, and I'm just gonna buff and blend out those top edges because they're a little bit messy at the minute. So let's start in the inner corner. Okay, I think that looks a little better. I'm just going to pop off and do the other eye, and then we'll be back to do mascara and eyeliners, lipstick, and finish off basically. Be right back. Okay, so here are the eyes all done. For inner corner highlight, I used this shade here called Dawn, and what I'm going to do on my under eyeline here is I'm going to go into the next shade along the darkest one, which is called Dusk, and I'm just going to pick up a very flat head brush, nice and thin, and let's see what this looks like under here. Is it picking up? There we go. I'll just do the other side. And there we go, that's that under there. Okay, so I think we've finished with those now. Let's go to the eyeliner, and I'm going to try the thick side today. Let's see how this works, the 2-in-1 liner. So, make sure I've got this angled the right way. It seems to be drying out about halfway as I'm going across my eye, which then means I've got to shake it. And personally, that does my nutting a wee bit, because you don't want to be opening your eye and having a look and then, you know what I mean, in case you get transfer, but it is dragging a wee bit as well on my wrinkly eyelids, but as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm using short strokes. It's almost like you play dot to dot with yourself and then you join the dots up, you know? Okay, I think that's as good as I'm gonna get. Right, this thick side, no, I'm not very impressed with that at all. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but where I've tried to go over to increase the intensity of my wing, it's sort of, I don't know, it's like pulled off the eyeshadow or something. I've got like a patch. It's really bizarre. I'm not quite sure what's happened there because I've never had that happen to me before. I'm just going to go in with the thin side and see if I can neaten that up. I'm just going to crimp my eyelashes. Let's try this mascara out. Now that I actually really quite like. It's definitely separating the lashes brilliantly. So for defining them and for lengthening them, absolutely, that is working really. I'm really impressed with it. Building wise, volumizing wise, maybe not so much. But you know what, I'd rather have this than have lashes clumped together looking like spider's legs. So the actual effect of the mascara I actually really like. I can understand why somebody like Nikki Raven really likes this. She always wears false eyelashes, I don't. So to be able to separate and lengthen, but without building your own natural lashes up too much before you then put your falsies on, this is amazing. This is really good. For somebody like me who doesn't wear false eyelashes, this would be fine for every day. For all day, every day. But if I was wanting to do a makeup look for going out and therefore wanted a bit more of a bolder look with my eyelashes, then this might not be it. But we shall wait and see. Obviously I will keep testing everything out. So I'm now just going to pop a little bit of a gold eyeliner in my waterline. This one is from Colourpop. So let's pop a little bit of this in. See what that does and hopefully brighten everything up. There we go. And then we're going to try this lipstick out. So the nearest lip liner I could find colour wise to the lipstick is my Jeffree Star Unicorn Blood. So I'm just going to pop that on. There we go, that's that. And let's give this a shake and see what it looks like on the lips. It's got a very sweet, like cotton candy smell to it, which I don't mind. What do I think to the formula? The formula actually seems really nice. It's not sticky or tacky in any way. It seems to be drying down very, very quickly, which I like. And the colour is lovely. I really, really like the colour. It is definitely coming off more red on camera than it is in real life. It's not quite as bright you know, but yeah, I do like that colour. That's a great everyday colour for me. So, super. Right, I'm going to set the face, sort my hair out, and I'll be right back to give you my overall thoughts and feelings. Okay, here we go, all complete. I'll lean in and let you have a closer look like normal. So, from the front, from the side, and from the other side. What do we think? What do we think, everybody? Okay, so what do I think? Well, first of all, the foundation. And I'm going to need to try this out a few more times. At the moment, I'm not too sure. I'm having areas that seem to be breaking down far more quickly than I would like, to be perfectly honest. The primer, nice. It feels lovely on the skin. Whether or not the colour correcting side of it is really what I was looking for, I'm not too sure. I will keep trying and let you know. Loose powder, really liked that, felt lovely on the skin, really, really nice. The contouring palette, I mean, this is for lighter skin, and this dark shade, ooh, that was quite dark. Did blend out nicely though, and very, very easily. So yeah, nice, I liked that. The blusher looks very scary in the pan, but actually goes on quite subtly and does build up. So I do like that. In fact, I've just realised we've not done highlighter, have we? So let me just grab a brush to do a bit of highlighter with. That'll do. Let's get the other side of this and let's just pop a bit on and see what we think. Oh yes. I think we can definitely say that's a highlighter, don't you? There we go. That is lovely. And I mean, I literally just dipped the edge of my brush into that highlighter side, and that was all I did. So that is impressive. Very impressive. There we go. It's nice. It's there and it's quite blinding, but it's also quite subtle at the same time, which is a bit odd. But you know what I mean. Okay, eyeshadows, right. I honestly think the best way that's going to be to use these is to use them, if you're putting an eyeshadow primer on, make sure you set that eyeshadow primer either with your with a face powder, or with, you know, like a really, really pale eyeshadow, because with a sticky base, it didn't seem to like it. It was pulling, it was pilling, it was, yeah, not good. And it took quite a lot of work. I had to do a lot of blending. Yeah, so I will be trying out different bases with it and see which one I think, you know, might be best. What I will say is though, the pigmentation is pretty good with these shadows. This one here, the sagey green, that actually came out a lot darker than I anticipated. That's fine, I don't mind that, because now I know, you know. There is quite a bit of kick up in the pan. There was quite a lot of kick up with this lighter shade that I used to sort of blend out the edges with and tidy up a little bit of fallout with and everything. So there was a lot of kick up. I did get some fallout on the top of my cheekbone from that darker green. It was easy enough to brush away though, so whew, thank goodness for that. The shimmer, wow, the shimmers that I used 3 shimmers. Used the green one, this lighter brown, and then this dark brown. They're stunning, they are lovely, and so far for me, I think they're my favourite of the eyeshadows at the moment. Obviously this is just a first impression, you know. I'll be able to give you a much better review once I do my 3 looks 1 palette video. Or in the what else? Mascara, really like this, really like this. What I will try in my 3 looks 1 palette video is I will try sort of maybe doing more than 1 coat, put 1 coat on, leave it, put a second coat on, see what happens when we do that. The eyeliner, yeah, no, this at the moment, on first impressions of this eyeliner, I would save you £3, to be perfectly honest. The thinner side with the brush, that went on better. There was less dragging with that, but I've still got patchiness here on my corners. Basically, once you've gone in and done 1 line with the product, if then you go and try and go back over, it seems to dry out as you're using it, and that is a real bugbear of mine. I really hate that, because then you're trying to go back over and build it up, and because it's dried or dried out a bit, there's not as much product on there, it was then pulling off what I'd put on, and then it didn't want to stick. And yeah, so I'd say at the moment this is actually a dud for me. Lip colour, I've had this on about 5 minutes now, completely dried down, so comfortable. It does look, I mean, it's, you know, it is very, very matte, and it looks like it's really dried my lips out, but they don't feel dry, they don't feel uncomfortable, they're not tight. I love the colour. Yeah, so overall, quietly impressed with certain things. Other things I think, you know, maybe, like I say, I'll be able to give you a better overall review and opinion once I've used them for a while. This video will be edited and cut down, because I have now been filming for the best part of an hour, and nobody wants an hour long video, so I will cut this video down and sort of chop it a bit, and hopefully get it down to around about the 20-25 minutes marks. Fingers crossed. Anyway, that's my thoughts and feelings on creating a look and first impression of Essence makeup. Please let me know yours down in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, as always. I hope you've enjoyed it. if you are new to my channel, the warmest of welcomes. If you've enjoyed what you've seen today, I would love it if you'd consider subscribing. Either hit that red button down below or the circular icon with my face in it, which will appear here shortly. I don't just do makeup looks, I do subscription box unboxings, I do haul videos, I do update videos, lots and lots of stuff. So please check out some of my other content that I've done. I think that's everything for today, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, keep safe and well, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!